A Costa Rican congressional report found that Hull, Oliver North, Richard Secord, U.S. Ambassador Louis Tams, and Admiral John Poindexter had conducted a drug smuggling scheme to aid the Contras.
In the early 1990s, the mystery of the bombing at La Penca began to deepen. Newly revealed information indicated that the bomber was in fact an Argentine guerrilla named Vital Roberto Gaguin. Investigators are now pursuing two trails to solve the La Penca mystery. One points to a group of right-wing Cubans, John Hall and the CIA. The other focuses on Sandinista counterintelligence, for whom Gaguin was working.
In July 1989, Oliver North was convicted of altering and destroying top-secret documents, helping to mislead Congress, and illegally accepting a gift. North was ordered to pay a $150,000 fine and to perform 1,200 hours of community service, counseling young people on the dangers of drug abuse. In July 1990, a divided panel of judges voided North's convictions on the basis of judicial error. In April 1989, Richard Secord was convicted of making a false statement to congressional investigators and received 2 years probation. In April 1990, Admiral John Poindexter was convicted of conspiracy, obstructing Congress, and obstructing congressional investigators.
Do you think the Iran-Contra scandal will have an effect on future government operations?
No, I think it would be more of the same.
I don't think that it's going to have much of an effect at all. I just think that they'll be more careful next time.
They will continue to carry on covert operations. I think this has been going on forever.
They make laws which are for us that they don't seem to be able to, they don't apply them to themselves very often.
And who is going to inhibit them? The gangsters that are running this country is going to inhibit somebody.
What's happening here, my friends, is a major deception which is in process as we stand and talk tonight. A major deception in the same way that the Warren Commission was a major deception worked upon the American people. The same way that the Watergate investigation was a major deception worked upon the American people. Just like the bombing, the secret bombing of Cambodia was kept secret and was a deception worked upon the American people. How long are we being deceived in this manner?
We will have to make a decision as a country, both Congress and executive, that we will not tolerate this kind of activity and we will go after the perpetrators. These people do have faces when we talk about the shadow government or we talk about the secret team. It's not something totally amorphous. These people are identifiable and can be brought to justice.
Assassination, drug smuggling. If they had pursued that line of questioning, they would have soon gotten themselves into a position where they would have had to impeach someone. They could track that right back into the White House. They could put it at least right under the nose of Donald Reagan.
This is the major constitutional crisis since the Civil War. You have a president who is unaccountable and says that it's his interpretation of what laws he'll select to obey. When you have that, you have a constitutional crisis.
All of these things that have been alleged for years and have been speculated and have been charged and have been consistently denied are being confirmed. And these documents have shown an incredible array of efforts, all of which were denied to Congress repeatedly and flat-out lies by top members of the administration and by the president.
It is not a CIA gone wild or a secret government operating it on its own. It's a group of people doing things with the authority of and at the direction of the White House.
Covert operations have never done this country any good. They may be of momentary advantage to the people who are in power at a particular moment, but in terms of the interests of this country as a whole, they have proven disastrous. There isn't a single one in 30 years that you can point to and say, well, that was one that we are now more secure, better off, and happier as a result of. Every one of them has in its own way contributed to the deterioration of security in the world that we live in. And so it's really time to stop them.
Instead of operating within rules and law, we have been supplying lethal weapons to terrorist nations, trading arms for hostages,
involving the U.S. government in military activities in direct contravention of the law, diverting public funds into private pockets and secret unofficial activities, selling access to the president for thousands of dollars, dispensing cash and foreign money orders out of a White House safe, accepting gifts and falsifying papers to cover it up, altering and shredding national security documents, lying to the Congress. Now, I believe that the American people understand that democracy cannot survive that kind of abuse.
There was a time when ignorance made our innocence strong. There was a time when we all thought we could do no wrong. There was a time so long ago. There was a time, but here we are in the calm before the storm. While the orchestra played, they built barricades, they'll close the door.